Hey guys, it's Britt. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about Rachel Hollis. She recently got herself into a whole mess online, and I had some thoughts about it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So when I think of Rachel Hollis, I think of MLM speaker, motivational speaker. She's one of those types. Definitely big on toxic positivity. She could be one of these spokespeople for toxic positivity, in my opinion. And you guys probably know, I don't subscribe to that kind of content. It's not what feeds my soul. I just like more realists, more people that are actually going to give me knowledge to learn something or how to do something better. One of the big struggles that I've always had with self-help books, and Kiki Chanel mentioned this, and I think that it hits the nail on the head. A lot of these self-help books and motivational speaking, kind of one and the same. It's constantly a whole bunch of words without giving you the actual secret. Like, what's the actual secret to success? What's the actual key to have a net worth of $5 million by the time you're 30 or by the time you're 40 or whatever it is. So it's a whole bunch of nonsense and motivational quotes and all of this kind of stuff without any real substance. And I'm a very to the point kind of person. If you're going to tell me how to be successful, I want like a 10-step piece of paper. Like, I don't want to read 12 of your books and walk out of it more confused than I did walking into it. But again, it's my personality. That's just my opinion, and that's how I take in information. If you like self-help books, motivational speaking, and all of that, that is amazing. And that's great for you. But in this video, I'm telling you guys how I take in information just so you can see how I kind of view people like Rachel Hollis. I'm going to read a little bit about her. I'm going to go to her website, give you guys a little bit more info, and then we're going to get into the recent issue that she caused for herself online. Rachel Hollis is an American author, motivational speaker, and blogger. Her first self-help book, Girl Wash Your Face, since its release in February 2018, has maintained a spot in the top 10 best-selling books in the country for 7 months. It held the top spot for 12 of those weeks, and since has sold more than 880,000 copies in the US. After graduating high school, Hollis moved to Los Angeles. Once there, she got a job at Miramax. While working there, she met her husband and founded an event planning company called Chic Events. I think the part where she met her husband has a lot to do with her being catapulted into being successful as far as being monetarily successful. I've said before, success comes in many different ways. To some people, their version of success is having a whole lot of money. To other people, it's owning their own home. To other people, it's having a long-term career. To others, it's raising their family. So success doesn't always mean money, but in her case, it does. And she has vocalized that many, many, many times. But her first husband was very wealthy, and I do think that that gave her a head start as far as being able to be monetarily successful. Her breakthrough moment on social media came in March 2015 when an Instagram photo of her celebrating her stretch marks went viral. "I wear a bikini because I am proud of this body and every mark on it. Those marks prove I was blessed enough to carry my babies, and that flabby tummy means I worked hard enough to lose what weight I could." And to me, that video in itself is someone trying to be relatable, wanting to be relatable. Remember that for later. So then it goes over her books. Since the success of her book, Hollis and her family have moved outside of Austin, Texas. She frequently posts on YouTube with motivational messages and has garnered over 163,000 subscribers. In 2019, she released a follow-up book, Girls Stop Apologizing. She has been accused of plagiarizing quotes in her work on her Instagram, as well as in many of her motivational speeches by several publications. I mean, I don't understand how once you have been caught plagiarizing, why anyone would want to read anything that you ever publish again, but that's just me. There are several instances of her using, claiming, and rebranding titles from self-help and motivational best-selling books, as well as quotes from influential figures not limited to Eleanor Roosevelt, Tim Hiller, Deborah Condren, and Terry Cole Whitaker. She also has a podcast, blah, blah, blah. Rachel and Dave Hollis have 4 children together. They announced their separation in 2020. So I did hear about that. I'm on her website, and her website is very much girl boss vibes all day long, which is fine. She says in her About section, I'm Rachel Hollis, a proud working mama of 4 living in Texas Hill Country just outside of Austin. I worship coffee like a deity, read books like my life depends on it, and I think LaCroix is the greatest invention of the last decade. I'm probably most well known as the author of the book Girl Wash Your Face, plugs how many copies it sold. Long before I wrote all my books, there are 9 now, or hosted on one of the most successful podcasts in the world, or produced a massive conference. I founded a media company, the Hollis Company. I was a food blogger. You know what? I'm curious if she took a PPP loan. Let's just look quickly. Yep, she took a PPP loan. $998,700 in April of 2020. So there you go. She's another one. Extremely wealthy, taking PPP loans from businesses in Texas in her own neighborhood that I'm sure had to close their own doors, but she got her almost $1 million PPP loan. And I don't really care if she has employees, that's fine. At least she's not one of these family vloggers who has 2 employees reported on payroll. However, it's still the fact of the very wealthy. It's sort of like Jeffree Star, very wealthy, still taking a PPP loan from people that could have actually used it to keep their doors open. That's the problem. And then she shows a picture of one of her motivational speaking things, the Hollis Company. I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years, and it's been a wild ride. What started as a teeny tiny media company poised to help me create posts for this blog became a medium-sized media company that is the Hollis Company today. HoCo produces content in every kind of media format: books, podcasts, movies, social and live events, as well as physical products. Everything we create with the same goal in mind. We want to give the tools to make permanent, lasting, positive changes in your life. Beyond what we create, I'm incredibly proud of the people that we are. The HoCo staff are some of the hardest working, most dedicated, most fun people you could ever meet. If y'all have ever interacted with them, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Rachel decided to upload a TikTok video that, in my opinion, quite possibly ruined her to a large percentage of her audience. So we're going to watch this. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. Keep in mind when we're watching this is someone who wants to motivate others. This is someone who, in my opinion, wants to be relatable. Her, video that she showed after her having a child, to me, that was a very much I relate with you, my followers or my subscribers. I relate with you. I go through the same things that you go through. So remember that while we're watching this.
Doing a live stream, and I mentioned that there's a sweet woman who comes to my house twice a week and cleans. She's my house cleaner. She cleans the toilets. Someone commented and said, "You are privileged AF."
So the first thing that I really didn't like is the fact that she made it a point to say she cleans my house, and then she added she cleans my toilets, almost as if to degrade the woman and say, you could have just said she cleans my house. It could have been left at that. Why she felt the need to say she cleans my toilets, I think it was a way of putting herself on even more of a pedestal. And the whole thing with having people clean your house, this is not something that's new or out of the ordinary, especially for people that are wealthy. However, the people that clean your home, that's not all that they do. a lot of them do your dishes. They might help with laundry. They might help with organizing your kids' toys. They might, organize your pantry. There are many different things that they do. So to say she cleans my house and then to add she cleans my toilets, it makes it sound like, it just puts this image in my head of this woman that is not very positive. I just feel like it was Rachel putting herself up on a pedestal by adding the fact that she cleans my toilets. Like, come on, girl, that's trashy.
And I was like, you're right. I'm super freaking privileged, but also I worked my ass off to have the money to have someone come twice a week and clean my toilets. And I told her that. And then she said, well, you're unrelatable. What is it about me that made you think I want to be relatable?
So as far as the relatable thing, the way that she looks at the camera when she says this is almost possessive, demonic. It's very weird, and it's very much, she's almost trying to intimidate people by making sure that people know that this is not bothering her. In the delivery of this sentence that she gives, I just cannot understand how, and I'm sure that Rachel works hard. There's no doubt in that. But many other people work hard as well. And some of the most hardworking people do not allow the public to know how hard they work. So usually those screaming from the rooftops about how hard they work, they might work hard, but it's not near what you think it might be. She has an entire team around her. Obviously, people from housekeepers to people that she employs through her media company. So you have a lot of help too. This whole girl boss mentality, you would swear that a lot of these girlies are just like running the whole show. But people like Rachel, in fact, have many, many people around her that make her day much easier. And just to finish my thoughts on the relatability thing, she has positioned herself as someone who wants to be relatable. You can tell that from the content that she puts out. If I can do it, you can do it. Empowering women and all of that stuff. And I love that. But when you build your career off of that, and then to come out and say, what makes you think I want to be relatable? I have money, I have a housekeeper, is so tacky. I really hope that anyone that bought her books or, bought tickets to her motivational speaking bullshit, I hope that those people really reconsider who they're supporting. And I think that this video did that for a lot of people.
No, sis, literally everything I do in my life is to live a life that most people can't relate to. Most people won't work this hard. Most people won't get up at 4 a.m. Most people won't fail publicly again and again just to reach the top of the mountain. Literally.
So she talks about this 4 a.m. thing. There are so many people that wake up earlier than 4 a.m. and work their asses off. There are so many people that do that. So for her to put herself in a position to make it seem like, well, I'm doing this, nobody else is doing this, is the amount of entitlement in this video is just at an insane level, in my opinion. It's so trashy and just disgusting, the pedestal that she has put herself on in this video. There are so many people that wake up at 4 a.m. There are so many people who literally work their asses off and they don't have a team around them. They run their own businesses. Let's say a restaurant or a bakery, a small bakery in a small neighborhood. Literally an owner and maybe one other person doing everything for this business. And you don't see them, everyone that comes in contact with them saying, oh, well, I woke up at 2 a.m. today and came in here.
Every woman I admire in history was unrelatable. If my life is relatable to most people, I'm doing it wrong.
So the amount of entitlement in this video is just insane. But the part that is the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low, is on the caption. She posts this on International Women's Day, which, so she literally says that Harriet Tubman, RBG, Marie Curie, Oprah Winfrey, Amelia Earhart, Frida Kahlo, Malia Yousaf, I don't know how to say that name, but she names these women who are absolute power icons and is comparing herself to them. How dare you? How dare you, Rachel Hollis? You are a piece of trash in my mind. And that's how I feel about it. I think that it's absolutely disgusting. I just can't understand how this woman can get up on her social media and actually think that being a motivational speaker and comparing that to Harriet Tubman, how do those two even begin to coexist in a sane person's mind? I really don't understand. Of course, that's just my opinion, but I cannot reconcile these two. You're comparing yourself to Oprah? No, this is just out of control. So after that, she did put an apology up that said, I'm not going to do this perfectly, but I'm going to speak from my heart. I'm so deeply sorry for the things I said in my recent posts and the hurt that I have caused the last few days. And that was the second apology. The first one, it says, on April 4th, Hollis made her first apology, but it was an apology that displaced all blame for what happened onto those who Hollis said had misinterpreted her and a team that had failed to do its job correctly. So deflection, shocker. In a now deleted Instagram post, she maintained that she had not been actually comparing herself to any of the women she mentioned, and to believe that because I mentioned I'm comparing myself is ludicrous. So of course, deflection, she's not taking any accountability, and that's obviously why it was deleted. She added that she had waited so long to respond to the backlash over her original video because she believed her team when they said they could handle things, and instead I should have listened to my gut. I hear this so often from influencers in general, YouTubers in general. If you fuck up, you need to come to your subscribers or to the internet and own it. It's not your team's fault. It's not anyone else's fault but yours. Nobody made her make that video. Nobody made her put that caption mentioning Harriet Tubman and Oprah Winfrey and all of those other women who are icons compared to her silly ass that's just a motivational speaker, influencer, MLM ringleader. It's just ridiculous. It's distasteful. And I cannot believe that people like her have a platform and actual people listen to her. It's truly baffling. And this is not the first fuck up that she's gotten herself into. Let's talk about the plagiarizing thing. If I'm reading books from an author who has been caught plagiarizing, that's the end of the road for them. And maybe some people did stop buying her books, but she was still very successful even after caught plagiarizing. The last thing that I want to talk about before I close out this video is Rachel Hollis's dog. This is something that a handful of you have asked me my opinion about. She had a Doberman Pinscher who she recently got rid of because I guess it bit one of her kids. Here's my opinion when it comes to dogs. You guys know I have a very strong opinion when it comes to animals. And when you bring a dog into your home, it's forever. I have that belief that unless that dog literally does something terrible to you or, someone in the household, I don't know the details of this bite. I feel like, depending on the details of the situation, it could have been, instead of just offloading the dog, who was already adopted, into Rachel's house. This was not a puppy that she brought home. Instead of just displacing this dog and getting rid of it, I feel like maybe try to send the dog to a dog trainer, try to get the dog some lessons outside of the house. I don't know. Was it a situation where she was just tired of the responsibility and something very, very minute happened with one of her kids or both of her kids and she wanted to get rid of the dog? Nobody knows. But the way that I look at it, especially if you're someone that has the financial means, I do believe that there could have been other things done before you just get rid of a dog. But y'all know I have very strong opinions when it comes to dogs. When you get a dog, I believe that it should be forever. And if there are obstacles along the way, then I think that they should be worked around. I don't think that it should just be something where you just get rid of an animal so easily. So either way, you guys, that's my opinion on Rachel Hollis. Don't care for her. Don't find any of her content, applicable to me or helping my life or anything like that. But like I said, if you guys like motivational speaking and inspirational quotes and all of that, that's amazing. But I think that we all take in and digest content differently, and what helps me might not help you, and it might be a little 50-50 of both. It's all good. So just because I don't like her, obviously, like, please don't take that for anything that serious. It's just my opinion. So either way, that's my opinion on Rachel Hollis for now. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.